Hey guys, welcome to the part 3 of the video. So this is the term sheets or investment by the investor. So in the last two videos we discussed about the term sheet importance, and apart from that how to make a term sheet and what are the examples of the different term sheets. So in the last video, in the last two videos we took the example of the June Lewis as a company, and we calculate the number of the subscription in the shareholders agreement. Apart from that, the subscription and shareholders agreement on the 30 day of the August, prior to equity shares, etc. Share purchase agreement, global conditions, and the present authorized share capital of the company with the number of the 1,000 shares subscription, etc. On the effective date of the promoters, the effective relatives, we do the additional benchmarking on that, and the promoters and investors are also took that on the basis of that. So company is in the need of fund for the expansion of the business, and with a view to particularly finance the purchase on the promotions, the company have offered the preference allotment. So we did about that as well. Then the term sheet definition and another things. In this video, we are going to discuss the term sheet investment by the investors. So let's say investment details. The section provides the details about the current investments, the payment details, and the closing dates. So what are the investments by the investors and promoters? So these are the first is subscription by the investors. So these are the investment details. Subject to a terms and condition of agreement, the investors collectively agree to subscribe to aggregate of 20,000 equity shares at the subscription price, and the collective represent the 16.6% of the fully diluted equity share capital. That's set out in the investment table in the Schedule 2A and the capitalization table in Schedule 2B. Investment described here in the contingent upon the satisfactory performance of the conditions and the precedent set forth in the Article 2.5. What is the issuance and transfer of investor shares and the payment? The investor agreed to collectively subscribe to the subscription shares in the two tranches that set on the 15 December 24 and the capitalization table in the 2B. So what is the full list of the conditions, like condition precedents? A full list of the conditions to be satisfied before the investments, like will be included in the term sheet, and the venture capital investments will usually be conditional on the not only a negotiation of the different legal documents, but on the satisfactory completion of due diligence and the approval by the investment committee of each of venture capital investors. Satisfactory completion of the due diligence can include the conclusion of commercials, scientific and the intellectual property due diligence, etc., and the review of the current trading and the forecast, and the review of the existing proposed management service contracts, a review of the company's financial history and the company's financial positions. So, what's conditions precedents? So, the obligation of the investors to complete the transactions is a condition on the promoter of company, and the simultaneously on the execution of the agreement, having to perform all their obligations. That undertaking contains in the agreement having the compiled with the subscription procedure. That also compiled with the following conditions precedent and save and expect those conditions with the host compliance. Warranty and waivers. All the shareholders of the company having any premative, emptive, or the first refusal participation in the other rights with respect to the issuance of the investor shares will be irrecoverably waived at the same rate. This is one. And the another is an unaudited statement. We can say that the investors have received and reviewed the satisfaction copies of the document to get the full-fledged idea of the what is going on in the company. This agreement is accepted only if the following conditions are satisfied. So the another condition is term sheets, covenants, and the representation of the party. So the section contains the clauses for proper representation of general meeting, and it also contains the various covenants and non-transfer of promoter shares. The promoter shall not, during the terms of this agreement, transfer any of the promoter shares, create a line, pledge, mortgage, charge, hypothetical, and otherwise encumber any of the promoter shares or any voting rights or interest in the promoters, like shares either directly or indirectly, voluntary or involuntary, or by the operations of law, without the prior written consents of all the investors and directors, on the subject to some such terms and conditions as an investor may be in the sole and the absolute discretion. The promoter further agreed not to transfer any shares held by the promoters for the period of 1 year from the effective date. So that's another thing, like everyone is making of that, and it also contains the right of the first offer to the investors. Let's say right of the first offer to the investors in the event of promoter like wish to sell any promoter shares, then the shares must be first offered to the investors proportionately, and the event investors do not purchase the such shares, then the Shares can be sold by the promoter to a third party within a period of 45 days from the refusal by the investors on the terms of less favorable than those offered to the investors. The purchaser of shares shall sign a deed of entrance if the purchaser is within the control of promoters and affiliate of the promoter. So this is one thing like promoter should look out before going ahead for the market.